Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys, based on the time zones you all are coming from. So the main agenda for today's session is we are going to discuss the need of Tableau Online. What exactly is Tableau Online? Setting up your first site, and then discussing on the entire conclusion of using Tableau Online, how exactly it is, and again, how it is structured and what is advantage it gives us as compared to the other versions available from Tableau, like we have Tableau Desktop, so that we can use it. So this is the entire agenda for the today's session. So now let's get started. So Tableau is, as you all must be aware of, Tableau is one of the most popular BI tools available, just like we have Power BI available from Microsoft. Same way, we also have the component of Tableau. As Tableau and Power BI, they are the main competitor, or we can say the main big players available in the market. Now, Tableau is basically now we have Tableau Online. So there are multiple versions available out there. Tableau Online is a powerful way of for your organization to build, share, and collaborate around the data analysis. So for example, we have a global team of analysts, and now we want to collaborate with them together. Then we do need to have an effective strategy. We do need to have a shared platform, just like we have a shared repository, so that different analysts they can be all on the same page. And that's why we can use it for sharing and collaborating in the cloud. That's the main purpose of having Tableau Online. And using Tableau Online, we can skip the setup time and the hardware cost, because here in when we are using Tableau Online, we don't have to meet the hardware configurations of using the desktop version, right? We can easily use Tableau, and again, we can get started. And we can ask questions in natural language. That means if we have a community now, if you want to ask questions which you want to get resolved here, and that too, we can categorize the entire questions in such a manner so that we don't have to be complicated, and we can add a simple question in order to have a clarity. We can also, now it is all based on AI. So basically, whatever insight we want to derive, for example, we have a large set of Facebook data. We have a large set of any CRM based data. And now we want to have a clarity on how exactly it is going to be structured. Then we can do that easily by using Tableau online platform. And all, so we can design the algorithms, and again, we can let those algorithms design and derive reports out of the current data set that we have uploaded on top of Tableau online version. Now here we can interact with, edit, and other projects on web. So we don't need to have any kind of desktop-based layouts. We can import our data set here, and then we can start generating reports out of it. If we want, we can start to create complete visualized dashboard out of it so that we can use it as a complete tool, almost having the same functionality. Now it doesn't have all the functionalities as of a Tableau desktop, because obviously this is an online version, and definitely this is going to have limitations, correct? But it is going to provide us with most widely used tools so that we can use it for creating the dashboard and creating customized reports out of it. That is something available in Tableau Online. And then we have security and default by design. So again, we have multiple security parameters that we can define. For example, we have multiple users in place. We have editors, we have viewers, we have instructors, we have multiple user, and they all are coming from different categories of usage. So we can define what exactly right, or we can say how many rights we want to give to that particular user, so that we can have full control on the user account, or can say the access we are giving to different users. Because viewer, let's suppose I say when we someone is viewer, so obviously we don't want to give the access to write, or we can say modify any changes to the viewers itself, correct? Because they are not required to make any changes. That's why we'll simply remove the access for editing for viewers. And same with for all the other accounts as well, one by one. And then it also empowers organizations with insight. So we can suppose if we have multiple clientele with us, then we can create separate dashboards. We can create separate visualizations so that we can let an organization take care of the entire insight, even for the others. And plus, suppose they have multiple subsidiaries, then we can allow them to take the action based on the subsidiaries as well. Now, what exactly is Tableau Online? So Tableau Online is basically, as we discussed, it's an online cloud-based SaaS platform which is required for data visualization and business intelligence. That's why we have Tableau Desktop. So if we want to use the desktop version, we can also use desktop. And if you want to use Tableau Online, suppose if we don't want to limit ourselves to only a single platform, because if we use Tableau Desktop, then obviously we have to make sure, and especially if that is licensed, then we have to make sure that we have the access to the system, because if we don't have the access to the system, we won't be able to work on Tableau, because that Tableau has been assigned to that particular system, that is binded to that particular system, correct? But whereas in Tableau Online, we can be completely free. That means we can choose which system we want to get started, and we can have the access to our online version from anywhere around the globe. That's a freedom that we get when we are using the Tableau Online version. So here we can use the entire platform for building, for sharing, and for collaborating. Collaborating as in, if we have multiple team members, they can all work on the same project. Now, how we can set up our first site? Now, first of all, we have to plan. Obviously, without planning, every project is bound to be failed. So we have to set up our first website. First of all, we need to know what exactly are data hosts, what exactly are the sources of our data sets. For example, if we are performing analysis on multiple social media streams for any company, then obviously we have to pinpoint these streams itself, correct? So that means suppose if we are going to use if we are going to perform social media analysis for, let's say, for Amazon, for any company, then obviously we have to identify the social media channels through which we are going to access it. If we are having the access to multiple, let's say if you're trying to perform the analysis on the sales department, then we need to have the access to the CRM, to the other databases, to the offline sales record. That means we have to make sure that we are identifying the current data source that we have to use accordingly. Then we have to identify who will use it, because again, the users are also crucial in setting up the first website. So again, who exactly are the users of that data set and how exactly they are planning to use it, because there are multiple ways in which that the same data can be accessed. It can also be transformed as a part of the ETL strategy that we see in big data components as well when we have large sets of data. So basically, the extracts it supports large data set available. Now it is also available. Now, if you want to use Tableau Online here, it is also available as a trial basis as well, that we can use under a small limitation. We can do that. So we'll be coming down to the hands-on in next couple of minutes so that we can have a complete clarity of how Tableau is structured and how we can get started on top of it. So then we are going to look at how the online version for Tableau is structured and how we can start using it. Using Strat, we can create the entire Strat. The main advantage of using Strat is it supports large data set. It is much faster to create, and it simply improves the performance of the entire analysis. We can say the entire analytics that we are going to perform. And then it also provides the access to offline data, which is also something useful for the developers who work offline, even though they are not connected, so that whenever they connect, they can be taken back. Now, next is we have building it out. First of all, let's see how we can set up the entire online platform and how we can define how we can build it and how we can set up the user permissions one by one as a part of the entire hands-on. If we want, we can try it for free. Now, for trying it for the first time here, we can fill up this form here which says try it for free. We can enter the entire details, and then we are going to get the access to this in our own email. So let me showcase you how exactly that email looks like. So for example, say when we are signing up for the first time here, we can simply have to enter our details like we had done for our dummy email address. And once we enter that, then our simple desktop will be created. And then we are going to get a confirmation link available in our browser, that available in our inbox. And once we confirm that, then we have to log back in and start using Tableau Online version. So once we enter the details, and this is the type of email that we are going to look at. So here we have to simply click on activate my site. And this will be taking us to the home dashboard where we can create our entire account. So here we can define the new site name that we are going to launch. For example, here we are going to call this site as Edureka. We can pick the site location in Japan, Ireland, Australia, Virginia. So we can choose any of the location here. For example, we want to choose Asia Pacific, Japan. And then we can click on activate my site. So let's wait for this entire site to be activated. Once we enter the deals, now this is going to load up the entire site that we have currently created. So as you can see here, currently we are in the Tableau site. So again, we can see the entire dashboard being loaded up now, and then we can get started on using the Tableau Online, just like we do that for Tableau Desktop. All right, so now first of all, once we sign up here, we can either get started on any, or we can see on these different templates which are available, as in for Salesforce, for Marketo, for Oracle Edureka, for ServiceNow ITSM, and for LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So we have multiple predefined dashboards which you can use as a template to get started. All right, so now, for example, here we can use any of these predefined dashboards that we can choose to get started. Suppose if we don't have any data of our own, we are using this only for our learning purpose, then we can use any of these predefined dashboards. We can easily do that. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's see both. Let's use the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So for example, if you want to get a complete insight on the entire sales report from the LinkedIn platform, then we can choose any of the predefined version. For example, here we can see the entire template available with us. So for performance overview, we have the template for in-mail engagement. We have the template available for product utilization. We have the template available for SSI analysis and then for target search. So we have different predefined configurations done that we can use to get started. Or if you want to start from scratch, we can start from scratch as well. For example, say if you want to see the entire email engagement that we are having on LinkedIn, then we can use sample data set. We can plug in our own data set as well if you want, or you can use sample data set to have a complete overview of how the entire platform is structured first. So as you can see, as you may be familiar with the entire Tableau platform, so here we have the entire dashboard already created for in-mail engagement, where we can see the total number of mail sent. It is 468. The overall in-mail acceptance rate that has been 10%. And then we can see the best day to send emails has been Monday, which gave us the best open rate. And then we can get the best time to send emails is early AM, that is early morning itself, as per the current visualization that we have achieved on using Tableau. We can create multiple reports as well. Again, in terms of sheets, we can see these are the sheets available for Wednesday, for email responses. So again, if we want to simply visualize it, we can simply do that. Now, let's say if we want to start from scratch, the same platform is available. If you want to save it, we can click on save as well. Or if let's say if we want to close it, we can get the entire platform closed. Now, let's say we want to get started here, we can click on get started. Here, if you want to create a complete visualization with a sample data set, we can create that, or we can simply share and collaborate so that we can easily collaborate with multiple team members who may have been spread globally. We can also do that. So here we can suppose if we want to create a visualization, then we can click on create a workbook. So this entire workbook is going to be created. Now, if we want to use the Superstore sample data set, we can use Superstore. Or if we want to upload any of our files, just like we do that for the offline version for Tableau, we can choose offline. Then here, if we can use multiple connectors available. Now, in terms of connectors available for the online platform, we have the connectors for Amazon Aurora for MySQL, which is basically an RDS engine offered by AWS itself. Then we have for Amazon EMR, for Redshift as a data warehouse. Then we have for Synapse, Box, Cloudera, Databricks, Demodo, Dropbox, Exasol. We have also available from Google BigQuery, from GCP, from AWS, and as well as from Microsoft. So we have all the services available as a part of connectors. And then in terms of dashboard starters, we can use any of the given template. Let's see if we want to start with any file set here, then we can specify the name to get started. So let's say, for example, here, let's choose our superstore. Here we can click on connect. Let this superstore data be uploaded. So now when we talk about superstore, here we can see we have the entire data set available where we are having data sets containing locations, countries, states, city, postcode. I mean, first of all, in terms of location, and if you want to see that data, okay, what exactly is in the data file. Okay, so the access to this file here we have available in other, okay, not a problem. So basically now here, if we want to, yeah, here we want to go to the entire data source here. For example, here we have the entire data set available for order ID, order date, ship date. Then we have ship mode, customer name, we have multiple data for, we also have data for the sales observed, the ship date, the segment, how many sales have been achieved, the region, the quantity, the profit ratio that we have achieved for different category of products. We have seen now here we can get the profit as well, the product name, postal code for it, so that we can, if we want to visualize the entire report on top of a data map, then we can easily do that. Then we have order ID, order date, manufacturer, discount, customer name, the country code, along with city and category. So we have every kind of data available so that we can plot. If we want, we can plot the entire sales report on top of a map as well. We can create multiple heat maps. We can create the entire distribution in terms of pie chart, in terms of graph, we can set the correlation as well. So we have the entire data set available that we can choose from. Now, so see a simple data set available here. What we can do, for example, let's suppose if we want to visualize the entire sales distribution for a given country itself. Now, currently we have the sales distribution available only for US. So we can simply pull the entire data set for US and we can see the entire cities that we have focused on has been visualized on top of a map itself. All right. So now Tableau is not an open source tool here. So Tableau is again a licensed version available, just like we have Power BI. So again, Power BI is available as a community, we can say a trial version. But here we have Tableau available, which we can use to get started. Perfect. Next is we can now, if we want to visualize, let's suppose here we do one thing. We simply just want to see the report on basis of the category and and again we have two different categories available here. So here we have the entire category for the profit or in terms of the billions of dollars. Now here we are looking at the entire profit. That means here we have three categories of data set available. We have furniture, office supplies, and technology. And we can see the entire distribution for these different categories as a part of the report that we have currently generated out of the entire Power BI online version. So same way, if now we can use any of the given parameters here. For example, here we have the profit ratio. We have multiple matrices that is available in the given data source. Like we have complete data source available. Like we can see the entire matrices here. We have profit, we have product name, we have postal code. We want to visualize the entire report on top of Tableau platform, then we can easily do that. Perfect. And now if we wanted to visualize, we want to combine multiple matrices together. For example, here we have combined two different matrices together. For example, here in terms of columns, we are focusing on the entire category itself, as in office supplies and then technology. We can find the entire category of the entire furniture types. Now, and then we are going to perform here we are seeing a list of different cities and then the profit that has been observed for different cities as a complete report. And we can use any of the data sources here. Now, currently we are using the sample data source, right? And again, if we want to use any of the predefined data source, we can also do that. Okay, let me showcase you how we can define the entire data source. Now, if you want to connect to any data source here, we can simply click on connect. And here we can see we have options available. If you want to use any of the connectors, we can use connectors. Let's say if you want to connect this we have a file saved in the MySQL database connectors here. We can use any of the connectors. And then we can define the server, the database, username, that means the credential for the MySQL database server that we are going to connect. If we have data sources coming in from OneDrive, then we can simply authenticate OneDrive. to pull the data available from OneDrive itself. We have the integration available from Box, from Spark SQL, from Snowflake, from BigQuery. We can use multiple data sources, or if we want, we can directly upload the files locally. We can do that. We can define these data sources and then we can use it directly here. So here we can choose any parameter. We can see the entire category. We can see the entire product name. And if we want to see the sales for that particular product, we can easily do that. Now, there are multiple ways through which we can take care of the performance as well. So first of all, if we have to define the performance of each and every site that we have created, then we have to make sure that we are not using a large data set. We have to keep the entire data set small and that to clean, having less amount of we can say anomalies. And then we have to use the feature extraction so that we can extract the features and then we can start plotting them as any visualization mode that we want. For example, if we want to visualize that on top of bar graphs, right, then we can easily do that, or bar graphs or pie chart or any kind of other data set, we can easily define that. Then we have to pay the attention to the stat design itself, because again, at the end, we are creating visualized reports. So we can take care of the labeling, the text, and the color scheme that fits to the brand for which we are having the reports being generated. And then you can always perform the performance tuning as well. And then we are now in terms of authentication, we can use multiple authentication methods. We can use multiple authentication methods. We can either use Tableau, Google, or we can also use the SSO to simply authenticate and make our entire reports more secured. Now let's say here we are simply categorize the entire distribution of the entire sales for different subcategories, like we have for phones, tables, accessories, we have copiers, books. Now heat maps, as you know, is simply used for having a quick overview of the type of report that we are going to generate, for example, and which particular segment is having the highest weightage. So you can see tables and chairs, they have the highest weightage in terms of the sales figures. So here we can choose it accordingly. And here we can choose among multiple bookcases, appliances, furnishings, and other formats which are available. And we can choose among multiple data visualization that we are having the access to. We can choose the bar graph. We can visualize it on top of a pie chart as well. If we want to plot the entire data on top of a map, for example, let's say now instead of subcategory, let's suppose here we remove subcategory and we remove it. We have multiple states. Now we want to simply visualize the entire database on the sales report for different states. So we can see now in which state we are having how much of sales. We have simply plotted that as against a simple map itself, right? So we can choose any of these given report methods to simply visualize the current data set, and then we can define how exactly we want to, if you want to segregate them based on cities as well. For example, here we have for geographical data, we also have a component of cities. So either we can divide that further in multiple cities, and we can see in which city and state we are having how much of sales that we have achieved, as we can simply plot them on graph itself to have a quick visualization. And once we are done, suppose let's say once we are done, right, now we want to collaborate this with multiple other team members, then we can simply open this for collaboration as well. We want to make sure that we are saving this for the use case, and we can either save it as well. We can do that. Or if you want to download a customized report out of it, we can click on download, and then we can choose what kind of format we want to download the entire report on. So we have the image, data, crosstab, PDF. Let's suppose if you want to download a PDF, we can choose this view, or if we have multiple views created, then we can choose from those different views as well. Or we can define the scaling, the paper size, and the portrait. And then once we click on download, this PDF will be downloaded with us, that we can share with our stakeholders or for any other team members based on the report that we have currently generated. So this is how we can get started on the entire workbook itself. And now we want to collab. Now, if we come back to the entire dashboard for Tableau Online, we can add multiple team members. For example, currently we have been working on in-mail engagement, and this is the workbook that we have not saved yet. So this is also going to be available in our dashboard. Here we can define the user's account as well. For example, if we have multiple users, we can see the list of all the users available. If you want to add multiple users, then we can import the entire list of users from a given CSV file. We can do that, or we can enter the email addresses individually. Generally, when we have an entire team, then we can import the entire CSV list, and then all the users will be sent we can say an invitation to join the current workspace that we have currently created. All right. And then we have groups. So for groups is basically for different access levels that we have viewers, we have the people who are only responsible for viewers or only for editors, and then we can create separate groups for different we can say defining different access level, and then we can define the access one by one. Then we have schedules. So again, we can see we can create multiple schedules for data updation, for refresh daily. For example, we have multiple jobs that needs to be run at a fixed time on a daily basis, or we can say on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. And these are different schedules that has been created. Then we can create multiple jobs. If you have any team jobs, or if you have any individual task or jobs that has been deployed. And then we can see the entire site status. So here we can see the traffic to views, traffic to data sources, traffic to bridge connected data sources. For example, if we want to see the traffic to data sources as in any local file that we have may uploaded, then we can see the traffic to data sources. That means how many users are getting connected to that. And in case of any streams, how many users are connected to those streams as well. We can see the entire visualization for the traffic to data sources, traffic to bridge connected, so that we can keep a check on the number of requests that is being generated by the analytical team, all offered by using online. So these are the main features available in Tableau Online, which separates it from the desktop version. And then we can define the entire access level, as in we can define the entire in authentication. If we have multiple other users available, then we can define the authentication types. We can define the SCIM as well. How many clients will be connected, their entire session itself. We can define the settings for bridge, as in if you want to keep the bridge open or not. We can have the entire configuration done as a part of Tableau Online version. And there are multiple extensions. Again, if you want to add any extensions, we can simply define the URL and then we can start adding it. We can do that. And there are multiple external assets that we can save. That means if you have multiple data sources, or we have a customized worksheet created, then we can save it as an asset that we can use in multiple projects as an additional feature available in the online that has been given in a much easier format. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and have a great day ahead. Take care. Bye bye.